Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to announce some good news. Okay, so I've successfully flashed Core Boot into the system. As you can see, it's taking in the NVIDIA graphics card. That's because I use TXT mode, which basically automatically disables the libgfx initialization script that is in the ROM for Libreboot. And basically, we're going to be loading Batocera Linux, which is a gaming Linux distro, which is designed for people who want to simulate a kind of kiosk gaming experience. And the reason I'm using Libreboot for this is because I want a minimally interventionist BIOS that allows me to basically boot into whatever Linux distro that I want very quickly, and also allows me the necessary flexibility to change BIOS settings directly using Linux. So basically stuff like the NVRAM tool allows me to configure things however I want. I was able to flash Libreboot using the internal flashing program rather than using an external flasher, which is something that you will find out later on, that I would find out later on, is very particular to the HP 8200. It seems like the HP 8200 systems are particularly very easy to flash internally. For other systems, you're going to have to use a flash programmer. The cheapest one is the CH341A flash programmer. So this is basically what I've been able to achieve with this build. Hello everyone, I'm going to show you what I did. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it's been 2 hours since I started building this image from source. Like, this is crazy how long it takes. Like, it's building GMP and MPFR, and I'm guessing all other kind of mathy algorithms and synchronizing shit to the processor and whatever, so they can build like a fucking ROM, a custom ROM. Like, this is all of this just for building a fucking custom ROM. This is crazy fucking work. As you can see, I am trying this again. I went and I carefully read the documentation for Libreboot and how to upload it to the HP 8200 Microtower. And basically, we're about to see what happens. And I decided to build a new ROM file because I do not want to use the libgfx initialization script, because that would just make me lose access to the graphics card, and I would have to set it up from the Linux system and yada yada yada. So it's better to just get a BIOS that like supports graphics acceleration and whatever. So I'll let you know what happens. Hello everyone. Let me show you what I did to achieve whatever this is. Now, don't judge me. I'm going to be using my games hard disk. I'm going to be using the games hard disk. I'm going to show you how I did it for Libreboot. This is specifically for Libreboot. You could use this, I think, for other Core Boot distributions, because other Core Boot distributions would have a similar kind of structure, although I haven't tested them all, so don't take my word for it. But essentially, what I had to do is first build the 4 megabyte image. It's going to take some time. Not really. So this is the first image that you need to build, and then you build the 8 megabyte image. So we have everything ready, because it's very quick. Okay. We have the 8 megabyte image. Obviously, it doesn't take that little time. I already did the build before, and I already did all the necessary tweaking for this build. And then I went into the source command for the build files because it was giving me some weird bullshit. And I use this command. So every single line that says U8, you look for that, you replace it with a blank space, and you write that, and you look for every single CC and HH file. After you're done with that, run this command. I called it core boot ROM. Doesn't matter what you call it. You pad it out with 4 megabytes. It becomes an 8 megabyte file. And then you run ifdf layout core boot for ROM. You run this command, it gets the layout, then you run flash prog p internal. This is specifically for the HP 8200 SFF or Microtower system. Mine is a Microtower, as I showed you before. And use this. It doesn't matter what the name of the chip that you use is, by the way. You can use the E option. It'll ask you for multiple options. Just use whatever options available. It's going to use the same flash chip. It's using different identities for the same fucking RAM chip. It's not really for the same ROM chip, because all of the different ROM chips have the same identity. Flash prog just asks you to specify a label. You do this, and then you write core boot 4.rom. And then I guess you would, flash descriptor FD, and then BIOS, and then IME, and then IFB. You run this command. I'm not going to run this command on my computer. I don't want to potentially fuck up my computer. I mean, it's not going to do anything to my computer. But this is not the computer that I used. This is not the computer that I flashed this into. Anyways, so you do that. You turn off the computer and you reset the CMOS, because if you turn off the computer and you turn it back on, what's going to happen is basically it's going to go at full speed. You don't want that. You might blast off the fans. It's going to just keep doing that. So if that happens to you, no worries. Nothing happened to your computer. Just turn it off. Take off the lid. Take off the CMOS battery, or if you have a CMOS reset button, press and hold that for 10 to 15 seconds. You should be good. Also, one important thing about the HP 8200 is you need to short the FDO jumper. And the way that you do that is you take either a screwdriver. You take either a screwdriver or whatever. You place the screwdriver, I'm serious by the way, you place it between the two ends of the FDO jumper. Basically you place it like this, and the FDO jumper, you turn on the computer, you wait for the boot screen to load. As soon as the boot screen loads, you can take off the screwdriver. You don't need to have the screwdriver the whole time when you're doing this. Not needed. Then you boot into your Linux boot drive and you type in IO MEM, so input output memory, equal relaxed. This is to remove any kind of memory protection. This was to remove any kind of memory protection, because if you try to do this with the IO MEM enforced, it won't let you do shit. So you need to do that. And you do this through your boot parameters. So you log into your whatever thing, you press E, whatever the edit command is. You go to the boot place, the place that says VM Linus, quiet, splash, blah, 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 blah. And you add it to, doesn't matter where you add it. You can add it to the end, you can add it to the, after, whatever. You can add it wherever. IO MEM equal relaxed. You boot with the custom command line. You go into the command line. Because this is a new flash drive, you install FlashProg, and you write the command that I just showed you right now, this one. And you run this command. It will write everything, as I said, and then you turn off the computer and you do what I told you before. You turn off the computer completely, CMOS reset, turn it back on. You should unplug your computer before you touch the CMOS battery, by the way. Just a heads up, unplug the computer before you remove the CMOS battery. You don't want to risk destroying anything, so make sure it's unplugged. And make sure to drain it of power. You do this by pressing and holding the power button for about 30 seconds. Just precaution. You do that, turn on the computer again, and then all you have to do is I call it Core Boot 8, and then you press it, you flash it, and you're done. That's all you need to do. So yeah, that's basically how you flash Libreboot into your system. This applies to all distributions of Core Boot. It will differ a little bit on the build stage. The build stage is a little bit different for each one of them. But for the most part, this is what you need to do. I hope this was informative. So yeah, I hope you guys are happy with this video. See you for the next one.